For example, there can be no change in God. Aristotle explains why this must be so. Aquinas builds upon that and further defines it. Did Aristotle have the Bible to tell him this? No, he was 200 and some years before Jesus and outside of the covenant people of Israel. He simply thought the matter through logically. And you can too. As God does not change, that will then further refine our pursuit of which God, if any, is the true God as claimed by his adherents. Taking the God of Islam, for example, we can read the text which describes Allah, the God of Islam, and we can know if what it says about God is correct or not. The Quran says that there is one God. Well, that matches what we can know for certain. Is that the end of the test? Do we now bow down and say, "Oh, great Allah, you are God and there is none other"? No, more is needed. God doesn't change. Does Allah, the God of Islam, change? Yes, he is vindictive. He also proclaims one thing and then another, but not in a logical way. Rather, the supposed God of Islam changes in his very nature by the proclamations he makes. We can toss Islam right out on its ear, and we can toss Allah right out on his ear. See, this isn't that difficult. Man has been given a brain to use if he will but use it. God did this so that man will seek him and reach out for him. He is actually not far from us. Man has, however, invented many gods, but because there is one God, man can and very well should be able to say, "This is a lie. This is not God." So we know there is one God, and we can deduce things about this God. This then allows us to search out the supposed revelations of God, like the Quran, and say, "No, this ain't God." Eventually, through this process, and if it exists, we come to what is truly sacred doctrine. We are presented with a copy of the Bible. The Word of God says there is one God. That passes the test. The Word then says, "For I am the Lord, I do not change." That's Malachi 3, verse 6. So far, so good. But what about the verses which seem to show that he does change? Do those actually reveal this? Or are those supposed changes in him merely logical and orderly revelations of himself for our benefit and our understanding, but not actually changes in his being? Through careful study, we find out that this is the case. God hasn't changed. Rather, we have changed in relation to him, and the result is obvious and expected based on his unchanging nature.